How the Northeast is handling its first nor'easter of the season.
And the UPS driver who saved the Lindale family from a house fire. The story behind the story.
Next on CBS 19 News at 10.
Tonight on CBS 19, a family of 5 thankful to be alive after a stranger alerts them to a house fire.
The fire marshal said that if I wouldn't have showed up, probably all 5 lives would have been lost.
We'll tell you the hero's connection to an East Texas arsonist.
Also, New York escapes a beating from the year's first blizzard, but New England is taking a pounding from the winter storm.
And Deflategate steals the spotlight at Media Day for Super Bowl 49.
We're just focused on Seattle this week. That's it.
How the New England Patriots dealt with questions about underinflated footballs from thousands of reporters.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Landess.
And I'm Gillian Sheridan. A Lindale family thankful to be alive tonight after a house fire early yesterday morning.
A passerby saw the flames, woke up the family, saving the parents and 3 young children. CBS 19's Risa Morris reports on this amazing story and a bit of irony that comes with it.
The fire marshal said that if I wouldn't have showed up, probably all 5 lives would have been lost.
The family that lived in this home is lucky. Lucky that Justin Bork drove by when he did, and lucky he decided to stop.
I seen a tree house and toys in the yard and instantly thought there's kids inside. So I parked next to the house, ran for the front door. I had 911 dialed and just started banging on the door, yelling for them to wake up.
The parents woke up and quickly got the kids out of the house. This Bork was saving people from fires, but there's a backstory here. Justin's brother is Jason Bork, the man convicted in the 2010 church fires.
If I am to try to make up for him, then I would love to do everything I can to possibly do that, since he's not able to, because I know if he was out of prison, he would try to make up for it.
This Bork is being called a hero, someone who saved the lives of Mallory Terry and her family.
In the world we live in, it's so easy to think about how all the terrible things and everything that's going on, and then this is just really heartwarming. There's just great people here.
The Terry family is getting support from all over. This You Caring page has raised almost $15,000.
Every phone call, every prayer, anyone thinking about us, we are feeling every bit of it.
The Smith County Fire Marshal's office is still investigating the cause of the fire, but Jay Brooks believes it started on the back porch. Brooks says Bork did exactly what he should have done.
There's always concerns, people waking people at middle of the night, middle of the morning, but it's risk versus reward, and this gentleman just did his civic duty, did an outstanding job.
And Bork says he would do it again in a heartbeat.
Why me? I don't know. That's a higher power's decision. I'm glad it was me. I'm glad I could be a part of God's work, but I don't know why me.
The family didn't have any working smoke detectors, which Fire Marshal Brooks says is dangerous. Smoke detectors can provide early warning to a fire and could have alerted the Terry family right when the fire started. Mike?
Fascinating story. Thanks so much, Risa. The Terry family, by the way, is living in a family friend's lake house. That home was a total loss. They aren't sure if they're going to rebuild on that lot. If you are interested in donating to the Terry family, you can visit our website at cbs19.tv and click on the Hot button.
New information: 2 separate courts have now decided against an East Texas inmate awaiting the death penalty. Today, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals refused to stay Robert Ladd's execution. Then a federal judge denied a similar motion just hours after it was filed. So the execution will continue this Thursday for Ladd, who is convicted of killing Vicki Ann Gardner in 1996. He will be put to death at 6 p.m. in Huntsville. And we are getting an inside look tonight at the Klein Animal Shelter in Jacksonville, thanks to a new report released by the Department of State Health Services. What they found led to the arrest of the shelter's director and 2 other employees. Inspectors from DSHS visited the shelter January 14th after the agency received 2 calls saying no one was at the Klein shelter taking care of those animals, which violates the law. The inspectors described the conditions as unsanitary. The inspection notes dog cages with feces, blood, and urine in them. The report also describes injured animals without proper care, even a dead puppy still in the cage with its mother and siblings. Director Angela Wallace and the employee Jason Kraft are charged with animal cruelty. Another former employee, Ashley Rule, charged with animal torture.
The blizzard of 2015. Now, after delivering a glancing blow to New York City, the blizzard slammed into New England today, dropping as much as 30 inches of snow, and they're still counting. That storm is also lashing the coastline with hurricane-force winds and pounding surf. CBS's Marley Hall reports from New York.
In Marshfield, Massachusetts, the blizzard of 2015 hit like a hurricane. Winds over 75 miles an hour whipped up the surf, destroying a section of seawall and flooding homes along the shoreline. This man had to be rescued from his home in Situate after a wave broke through his door. Others grabbed what they could and left on their own.
We've breached the wall here. We've got to make a determination as to whether to evacuate some of the people down here. Now that the breach is open, it's going to cause more floodings.
Parts of eastern Massachusetts are buried under more than 30 inches of snow. Tens of thousands spent much of the day without power, including the entire island of Nantucket. Here in New York City, forecasters had warned of up to 3 feet of snow. The city shut down roads and its 110-year-old subway system, but less than a foot fell.
We obviously missed the worst of this storm, which is a blessing for New York City.
That's because the storm developed about 90 miles east of the expected track, catching forecasters by surprise.
Even with all the technology in the world and with the big storms, you're always forecasting on a razor's edge between the big totals and the bus.
Now the towns with those big totals are digging out. Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.
And travel delays are expected to last through tomorrow. Airlines have already canceled more than 500 flights, and that is far less than yesterday's 7,500 canceled flights.
What a mess.
Yeah, and here in East Texas, well, temperatures were in the 70s today.
Yeah, it's been great, and the nice weather is expected to stick around for at least another day.
Let's go to our Chief Meteorologist, John Adams, for a preview of the forecast. John?
Yeah, nice way to come toward the end of January here with temperatures back in the 70s tomorrow. As we look outside tonight in Longview, we can right now see that it's 51 degrees at the Austin Bank building, 67% the relative humidity, got a light east wind, not a lot of traffic out there on the loop passing by the building at this late hour. Here are those temperatures today. We were within a couple degrees of the records in Tyler and Longview, both topping out there in the upper 70s. Lufkin made 81, 4 degrees shy of the record there, and Nacogdoches topped out at 77. In the morning hour, we're going to have more sunshine, nice cool start to the day, and we'll be approaching 70 degrees by noon. Winds will be southerly, about 5 to 15 miles per hour through the day. But we do have some changes coming in a few days. I'll tell you about those coming up.
All right, thank you, John. Take a good look at this man. He's wanted for robbery after getting away with a basket full of unpaid merchandise from a Walmart in East Texas. His charges were upgraded to robbery instead of just theft because of what you just saw there. He shoved the greeter as he gets away. The suspect is described as a black man, muscular, in his mid to late 20s. If you recognize him, call Nacogdoches Crime Stoppers at the number right there on your screen.
A follow-up. A judge refuses to throw out the felony abuse of power case against former Governor Rick Perry. The judge instead ruled today the case should proceed. Perry's defense wanted the charges dismissed, saying that Perry was acting within his constitutional rights when he vetoed funding for a public corruption prosecutor and when their leader refused to resign following a drunk driving conviction. 2 former Vanderbilt University football players found guilty of raping a fellow student in 2013. Now, it only took that Nashville jury 3 hours to convict Brandon Vandenberg and Corey Beatty. Prosecutors say they laughed and took photos as a group of men raped the unconscious student. Vandenberg brought back the woman to his room. Vandenberg testified he only took the photos. Beatty told the jury he was so drunk he didn't remember what happened until seeing the photos and the videos. Both are facing decades in prison when they're sentenced on March the 6th.
A newly sworn-in police officer, one of 2 officers, shot at a city council meeting in suburban Minneapolis last night.
Get down, get down. Everybody get down.
Gunfire erupted, as you heard there, outside of the New Hope City Council meeting shortly after the ceremony for the officer. Video shows a councilman, also a police officer, draw his gun and yell for people to get to the floor. Officers returned fire, killing the gunman, 68-year-old Richard Kmetz. A motive for the shooting is unclear. The 2 injured officers hospitalized in good condition. We are learning more tonight about a Dallas teenager charged with drowning a baby. The 14-year-old girl reportedly told police she killed the 2-month-old using a bowl of water. The baby's mother is in jail. and was placed with the teen's mother. But the girl told police she was stressed because she was having to care for that baby. The teen is charged with capital murder. The judge will decide if she will be charged as an adult.
New charges of murder and armed robbery for the man arrested for the deaths of a Georgia couple. Police say that they've been looking to buy a car from him. Investigators say that Ronnie Adrian J. Town fatally shot Elray Bud Runyon and his wife, June. The three had agreed to meet last week after Bud posted an ad on Craigslist looking for a classic Mustang convertible. Consumer news now. Stocks are down sharply today as investors react to disappointing earnings reports. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closing down about 300 points, but was down nearly 400 points in early trading. While investors are selling, consumers are buying at a pace not seen in nearly a decade. Consumer confidence is at its highest level since August of 2007, and lower gas prices are helping Americans find other things to spend their money on.
Well, 300 people in Lone Star will be out of work by next month due to cuts being made at the U.S. Steel Lone Star Tubular Operations Facility. Lone Star Tubular Operations employs a large percentage of the city's population. As is apparent with the growing number of layoffs nationwide, workers in Lone Star have gotten used to living through the downtimes.
They blessed because some of them guys been working straight 3 years. I never did work that long when I first went there.
Even with the cutbacks in production and jobs, operations will continue. In anticipation of the adjustments in production, U.S. Steel says it has produced sufficient inventory to meet demands during this downtime. Still ahead tonight on CBS 19 News at 10, imagine being near your family but not able to contact them.
That's exactly how these Fort Bliss soldiers have lived for the past 21 days. Coming up, why they're finally being reunited with their families.
But first, he is a sweet young man in need of a forever family. We'll share Keithan's story next in Children Are a Gift.
This is KYTX CBS 19 News at 10. The world doesn't stop when you go to bed. Catch up on everything you missed while you were sleeping on CBS 19 this morning. CBS 19 closed captioning is brought to you by Southside Bank. Southside Bank. Banking made easy. We promise.
Tonight, the story of a boy who's as nice as can be and very thankful for everything he gets. But the one thing he wants the most, he's still waiting for, a forever family. Here's Keithan's story in CBS 19's Children Are a Gift. 12-year-old Keithan is brave. During this visit to Alley Cats in Arlington, he put aside his fears and climbed this wall.
What was that like?
I felt like I was Spider-Man.
Keithan is friendly, outgoing, and competitive. He's nice to everyone, understanding you get what you give.
It's the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
This young man is grateful for his foster family.
It's been great because they really take care of me a lot, and they mean to me a lot.
They are the people who introduced him to church and to God.
That he died for our sins, and he is our shepherd, and we are his sheep.
Keithan will do best in a two-parent home. He wants a mom to love him and a dad who will spend one-on-one time with him and allow him to play sports.
I'm going to be a good son, a great son that helps out others.
It is important that Keithan be the youngest child in his forever home, a place where he is secure and safe.
I pray for, getting me in a good home and everything.
In his life, Keithan will climb many mountains.
Keithan!
And he hopes a family will be there to support him. Sweet boy. If you are interested in Keithan, you want to see this story again, go to CBS19.tv, scroll down, click on the Children Are a Gift page. There you will also see other East Texas children waiting to be adopted.
What a nice young man. Now, some of the troops deployed to help contain Ebola are actually home with their families tonight. Now, these soldiers returned from West Africa a few weeks ago, but they had to be isolated as a precaution. Now, this is the first time these soldiers have been able to hug and kiss their families since returning to Texas earlier this month. They had to be isolated for 21 days as a precaution before being given the all clear.
While they were deployed, they were monitored twice a day to ensure that they were not infected with Ebola. And our soldiers were supporting the effort to build treatment facilities, but they were not working in the treatment facilities themselves.
These U.S. troops are starting to come home now that the number of confirmed cases of Ebola in Liberia has dropped from about 60 a day to just 1. Another group is coming home next week. They'll have to undergo the same 21-day quarantine before they can see their families.
From your local news leader, here's your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast with Chief Meteorologist John Adams.
Another nice night across East Texas, 56 degrees at the Independence Centers. We're looking south on Broadway, and not a whole lot of traffic out there at this hour. 59% the relative humidity and light southeast winds. Texas skies pretty much clear. We've got some high clouds moving across parts of West Texas and the North Texas area, as well as some that are working their way into East Texas, but nothing that's really going to mar this from being a mostly clear night across the state. And our temperatures coming in here, and they're mostly in the 40s and 50s this evening. Got some 60s scattered there around Laredo, and a few 40s up around Amarillo. Also Waco showing 49, and Alpine out in West Texas at 49 degrees. The air remains pretty dry with those dew points still in the 40s, but they are starting to come up just a little bit as we get a little more moisture coming back into the state. East Texas, we can see some of the high clouds making their way through our western counties and into the central counties at this point, but again, it is going to be a mostly clear night to clear across East Texas. And our temperatures this evening mostly in the 50s. We do have a 49 at Henderson, 46 at Nacogdoches, and Jacksonville still turning in a 63, but everybody's going to be down probably mid-40s by morning by the time the low temperatures are turned in before we start to warm back into the 70s tomorrow afternoon, so another nice day coming up. Of course, those dew points in East Texas tonight don't help pull those temperatures up and keep them from going much lower than the mid-40s in the morning. Hour-by-hour planner will be mostly clear to partly cloudy overnight, those high clouds moving through East Texas, and 8 o'clock in the morning our temperatures mostly upper 40s to around 50 degrees as you get to work or school. Lunchtime temperatures right around 70, plenty of sunshine for the rest of the afternoon, and we'll go back at least into the mid-70s across the area, and by late afternoon begin to drop back into the upper 60s to low 70s. During the evening we'll see a few clouds move by there, and this time tomorrow night we'll see most of our temperatures beginning to fall back into the 50s. Here is your day planner for Wednesday. Lots of sunshine in the morning, 49 degrees at 8 o'clock, 60 at 10, 68 at noon. In the afternoon we'll be back into the 70s, and south winds will be about 5 to 15 miles per hour throughout the day. 53 to 67 on Thursday. We do get a cold front coming in late Thursday, and that will bring some cooler temperatures for Friday. 40 to 53 on Friday, and we'll also begin to see a few clouds move back in with a north wind around 10 miles per hour. By Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, it's even into possibly Sunday evening, we're going to have some rain in the area, and temperatures aren't going to be very warm at all. Mostly in the 40s throughout the day, possibly topping out around 50 degrees, but then the rain goes away early next week, and we'll see our temperatures begin to recover by Tuesday back to near 60 degrees. That 7-day planner is always there for you as you make your plans. It's at our website, cbs19.tv.
So we'll soak up that sun until we have to soak up that other stuff.
That's right.
That'd be good. Thanks.
Still ahead, we will take you to Arizona for Super Bowl Media Day.
Always a circus. And there are plenty of mud bugs to go around this season. In fact, if you want to, Gillian, you can get your hands on the little critters right now.
Thanks.
After the break.
CBS 19 News. Coverage you can count on. You're watching KYTX CBS 19 in HD.
Whether you call them mud bugs, crawfish, or any other name, the time to enjoy the freshwater crustaceans is here.
What do you call them? All right, crawfish season arrived a little earlier this year. Andrew Horansky reports it's a sign of just how good this season, 2015, is expected to be.
You take the crawfish and you pull the tail off and you suck the head.
Pamela Stein is a crawfish fanatic. Up to 5 times a week, it's what's on her plate.
I'm eating my favorite food and I don't feel like it's many calories. It's amazing.
But last year wasn't so good. The coldest winter in years made the mudbugs burrow. At Ragin' Cajun on Richmond, there were times they weren't even served.
They stayed in the mud and didn't grow and didn't do any good for us at all.
But this year, things are looking up.
You know, as you know, we've had a lot of rain this year.
Vincent Florio is one of the rare crawfish farmers in our area and ships across the country. His farm in Crosby has reaped the benefits of a wet fall and a mild winter. And you can see what's in his traps.
This is the growing weather that we need to make the crawfish grow.
Bringing down prices,
95.
which isn't just good for customers, but also for Houston, with Mardi Gras and the rodeo both on the way.
Those look good.
Back at Ragin' Cajun, Mandola is so optimistic he'll be offering all-you-can-eat crawfish during the Super Bowl for the first time.
And then just yank it out.
There will definitely be an appetite.
This is a good one.
Isn't that yummy looking? We did some checking on the number of calories in crawfish.
Yeah, there are 327 calories in a pound of crawfish.
Good to know. You can enjoy the mud bugs through May.
Thanks.
Some good stories on the TJC and UT Tyler ladies tonight. Some good
Ladies'
stuff.
night tonight.
Yeah.
Get some much-needed publicity. Plus, we had a big-time basketball game going over at the Lions Den tonight. Nacogdoches in town. Highlights next.
Children Are a Gift is brought to you by Peter Chevrolet. CBS 19 News, your weather authority for East Texas. From your local news leader, it's time for Big Board Sports with Eric Sullivan.
What's up, everybody? Big night over at the Lions Den. First place Nac in town as the JT Lions are looking to get back into as a player, as a contender in that District 16 5A. Let's get to the highlights early on. Bryson Smith going right at the Dragons here between the legs, in the lane, and up and in for two. Tyler Underwood. That name sound familiar? It's SFA head coach's Brad Underwood's son, and I think Tyler can outshoot Dad any day of the week. Knocks down to three, and then on the break, it's going to be Jakari Lewis up and in for two. And then Jacob Owens-Bush crashing the glass here and working hard for the Lions. Way to go, Coach Clark. They get a big win to get back into the conference race, 48-41. Lee Red Raiders fall on the road to Centennial tonight, 75-63. Earlier, the 17th-ranked JT Lions, they're just taking care of business right now, taking on NAC as well. Destiny Whitehead to Shakayla Johnson. Easy two right there. Kaylee Hackett, easy two right there. They had it going tonight, the Lady Lions did, to Mill Jones. Has she got some moves or what? Takes it right to the basket with the layup. All Lady Lions tonight, 77-25. Lee girls lost 58-44. Well, since losing their last two ball games, the Mavericks have went from 4th place in the West to 6th. That's how tight the Western Conference is so far. Coach Carlisle not real happy with the way his team's been playing. Pretty good start here against the Grizzlies. Chandler Parsons, that's what he's got to do. Knocks down the three right there. But the ex-Maverick, Vince Carter, still playing ball, folks. Look at that fadeaway. And the Grizzlies run it up on the Mavericks tonight. Final score in this one, 109-93. Losses in a row for the Mavs. All right, tomorrow night, the nationally ranked Lady Patriots of UT Tyler will return home to face their rival from here in East Texas, Laterno. Right now, the ladies are off to the best start in school history, 17-1. Coach Baker and company have been so good in ASC conference play, they're very close to clinching home court advantage for the postseason tournament. That's still a ways down the road, and star players Brittany King and Taylor Seals made sure we knew that today.
We're worried about winning the next game, going 1-0 each game, each and out, because I think if you look forward ahead too much, then you're going to fall into a trap.
We're looking to win the whole thing, but at the same time, we have to focus on what's next. We're not trying to look too far ahead, or we will mess up.
Good attitude right there. A&M leading Auburn tonight, 60-50 in NCAA action, and Baylor goes down to Oklahoma State, 64-53. Well, are you ready for TJC softball? Their inaugural season begins this weekend right here in Tyler. This group of girls, you know what, they've been practicing for so long, so hard. They're ready for some real live game action. They'll get to do it Friday at Brook Hill taking on ETBU. Here's Coach Nicole Dixon and the girls on getting that first ever game out of the way.
It's really exciting because most people don't get the opportunity to do it, so it's really exciting just to be a part of the first team.
It's fun coming to work, so they make it easy to come out here and grind it out every day. They're real positive. We try to focus on that, so we've got a good group of kids.
Man, when you've been practicing for a year and a half, you can imagine how you're itching to play a real game. So we wish them the best there. Looks like they're going to have a lot of fun this year.
It sure does. Thanks,
You got
Eric.
your TJC colors on.
Got it on, just for them.
Good job tonight.
Good patches.
Well, stop forecast after the break.
We'll be right back.
Final look at the weather, my friend.
Yes, indeed. Unseasonably warm again tomorrow as we'll have some sunshine, and at the bus stop in the morning it's going to be kind of cool, 49 degrees, south winds at 5, but a clear sky and sunshine throughout the day. We go to the 70s in the afternoon again, south winds about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Next 7 days, 53 to 67 Thursday. Cold front comes through, so we're cooler on Friday, and then we have some rain for the weekend along with cool temperatures. Rain will be ending by the beginning of next week.
Have your lunch in the park tomorrow.
Right.
Thanks, John.
Finally tonight, NFL Media Day, also known as the Barnum and Bailey Circus. Great time for teams to talk about the upcoming Super Bowl.
But this year, most of that talk was about Deflategate controversy surrounding the New England Patriots.
We're just focused on Seattle this week. That's it.
That's all he had to say. The New England Patriots are trying to keep the focus on the Super Bowl and off of Deflategate, but some of the 2,000 reporters at Media Day found creative ways to work underinflated footballs into the conversation.
And that one reporter asked Patriots quarterback Tom Brady if he saw the Saturday Night Live skit lampooning him. He says he hasn't, but he was sure they did a good job. I'll bet they did a good job.
Hey, we'll hear from Jeremy Lane of John Tyler, who plays for the Seahawks coming up tomorrow. Good stuff right there.
That's exciting.
Good. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you for watching CBS 19 News at 10.
Keep up with the latest headlines on CBS 19 this morning. It starts at 5:30. Have a great night.
KYTX CBS 19 News app is brought to you by Hyundai of Longview. You pick it out, we'll work it out. We're KYTX. Texas is in our name.